I came home after living abroad in Thailand, and I ran out of all my money. And I had to do what I feared most, which was move back in with my parents. And I called up my yoga teacher and I said, I need to take a class with you. And she said, I think I'm going to take a pause from teaching and it's time for you to teach. And so I taught my very first class about a week later. And when I first got into teaching, it was because I didn't want to be a yoga teacher. I had many other plans. But it was the only continuous thing that I was doing from the age of 17 to 22. I started teaching when I was 22. And I loved it. I had no idea how fun it would be. And so I just kept teaching because it was the one place where I felt like I mattered, where something mattered to me. I loved the relationship that I had with my students, and that there was always this growing edge. Now, I don't know what the proper cue would be, and this is where you would move into what we would call an energetic adjustment. And because my personality loves change and loves sampling and tasting everything, I really got my hands into every single teacher that I could. So I was studying also when I moved to Boston, I was studying with a lot of teachers as well. So I would say what's unique about my practice and my teaching is that I don't adhere to one lineage. I've always seen how everything is always connected. I get pleasure out of seeing the connections from things that are seemingly dissimilar. I mean, what else is our yoga practice other than to truly embody and know that we're all one? So I enjoy finding those connections. And I just can't stop teaching. I mean, I've been teaching now, God, I've been teaching now for 17 years or something. Wait, hold on. 2002 to 15 years I've been teaching. Here, right when I had her do that, suddenly it was just held in. It continues to change because to me, our yoga is really how to meet ourselves as a human being. And as we're continuing to change, obviously I'm different. I'm no longer in my 20s. And life happens. I first got onto the yoga mat because I was anorexic. You know, I weighed 85 pounds. I didn't want to be here. I was more interested in just drinking alcohol to numb out, smoking pot to numb out, taking drugs to numb out. And I used to pray at night that I just would not wake up. And I actually got into my first yoga class by accident. I really wanted to go to boxing. And my friend, while I was walking to boxing, was like, come to this yoga class. And I remember not knowing much, being in the poses. Like, I didn't even know I had a body. I didn't know where my hips were. I didn't know where anything was. But I was so shocked when I would lay down in the rests between the poses and I would feel these tingling, sparkling sensations. And I thought, what is that? It was the most magical, pleasurable feeling that I'd ever felt. And I would look around at everyone else and think like, are they feeling this too? Why is nobody talking about this? And so that's why I kept showing up to the yoga mat, was because of these sensations that I was feeling, which I now realize it was my body waking up, my pranic body. It was my body healing itself. And I think that was the magic, because I immediately after starting asana, I got into meditation pretty hardcore. And I had so much pleasure that I felt safe and a way to sit with myself. And in the stillness, I experienced firsthand how the body heals itself. So that's what kept me getting on the meditation cushion. That's what kept me showing up for class. Was suddenly there was a power inside that I was discovering, and a healing and a nurturing, and I wanted more of it. And so there was already a spark that I had by the age of 22, because I had been through quite a bit, and I wanted to share that. But I know every yoga teacher would agree with me. I feel like to become a yoga teacher means you really dedicate yourself to be a yoga student. So I am constantly getting taught as I'm teaching, and I feel really grateful for that. There's such a raw aliveness that happens in class, because I never know what is actually going to happen, what needs to get met within my students, within me, and we're on this journey together. And now I'm at this present moment in my late 30s, and life has happened. Life is still happening. I've experienced a lot of grief, really dear ones passing away. And so I would look at my yoga practice also in a preparation for death. How do we meet ourselves in the world when things that are most dear to us are constantly changing and also going away? And to me, yoga is the ultimate shavasana. How do we also prepare ourselves for that moment when we leave our bodies? So my practice, although I love movement. I mean, I can't not move every single day. And I move slowly, I move steadily, I move quickly, I play. I'm constantly practicing in different ways, because I'm constantly intrigued and challenging all of the habit patterns that are happening physically in the body, that are happening emotionally, that are happening mentally. And anything that's happening inside is expressing itself outside. So to me, yoga is really this magic, this interactive, dynamic relationship with life. It's like we are the dreamers dreaming the dream, and anything that's expressing itself in the body is expressing itself outside. That's pretty cool, because then we discover how powerful we actually are. If we're the dreamers dreaming the dream, then what do we want to dream? That's what's kept me on the cushion, on the mat. And right now, at this point, my yoga is not something that's just, compartmentalized into 2 hours a day. It's everything. It's everything.